The mighty Thor, Love and Thunder, is it good? Is it bad? Should you go? Should you not? Find out today. Hi, how you doing today? It's just Jess here. Hope you're having a good day. And today, yes, Thor, Love and Thunder, we are going to go at AMC Niles 12 at 3 o'clock in IMAX 3D. That's right, in IMAX 3D. If you don't know who I am, hello, hi, my name is Jess. My YouTube channel, it's just Jess. Here we do movie reviews, giving you the biggest and best reviews of the movies that are releasing at the time. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Stick around towards the end because we are going to talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. We're going to leave. So we got the movie Thor, Love and Thunder. Is this movie worth going in IMAX or IMAX 3D? Honestly, it really depends on you. I mean, the movie was filmed for IMAX, so that is a +1. The scene was Zeus, and furthermore, there is amazing visual spectacles to behold. Like, I was in the theater when I was seeing that scene, and plus later in the film, I was like, wow, this is definitely the price of admission for IMAX 3D. If you loved Thor 3 Ragnarok, so this is definitely more of that with the same director at the helm. So a little bit more funny, a little bit more goofy and silly. Now, that might work against it, which fights are cool to see it in IMAX 3D. I mean, they're a visual spectacle to behold, but the fights themselves, they're definitely cool. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. If you're new to this channel, I'm still gonna do this review normally like I would do any review, but I'm gonna talk about spoilers now. I'm not gonna like talk about every single little nook and cranny about this film, just things that stood out to what you should know and what I relate to. I do apologize. I would do a non-spoiler review, but something, I just have a biggest gripe this film particularly that I have to talk about spoilers, so I do apologize. You haven't seen the movie, bookmark this episode if you have seen the movie or don't care about spoilers. So this movie is actually narrated by Korg, which is played by Taika Waititi, which he is also the director as well, and he came back to direct this one as well. He directed Thor Ragnarok. So kids get stolen in New Asgard. They have to find a group together to travel to Gore the God Butcher that has taken them to take them back. So that is basically the premise. Of course, there's definitely more, which we'll talk about right now. We got Valkyrie, we got Korg, we got Mighty Thor played by Natalie Portman, and Crim Southwood is the major group protagonist that you'll see throughout this movie. So the Guardians of the Galaxy make a brief cameo appearance just to set up the movies, to set up Thor's arc with what he's going through, his personal like struggles. So I like that they brought him back to his feet. He's not known as Bro Thor, even though he still has that, but his like, I don't want to say his body type is back to his normal state. So Guardians of the Galaxy there are like less than 15 minutes. I mean, like I said, they're just there to set up the rest of the movie. And by the way, guys, this is kind of significant because we have a first Avenger that has a fourth movie, not Iron Man 4, not Captain America 4, but Thor 4. So one of the main Avengers has its fourth, I don't want to say solo movie because they're still with other characters, but you get the drift. So we got Chris Hemsworth reprising his role as Thor again, with Natalie Portman coming back as Dr. Jane Foster. Now, I felt like I heard rumors that she didn't like how the character was written in the first 2 installments, so she had like a falling out with Marvel, that I heard there was like 10 minutes, but then they cut her off, and then they just said in the third movie, Ragnarok, they just broke up. But to me, once I heard that, I clinched onto them, like, how did they break up? Why did they break up? Like, was their relationship all it means it seems to be? And this movie literally gave me the best answer that I wanted, which we'll talk about it. So she's back, and I'm happy that she's back because I felt like, yeah, Ragnarok was missing because of her, but at this end of the day, yeah, they probably broke up, but she could have still had scenes like doing her own thing. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is she's back, and I love it. I think it's amazing. So this movie kind of follows the comics, but kind of not. So Jane Foster is dealing with stage 4 cancer in the beginning of the film. However, she seeks out to find the mighty Mjolnir hammer because it is surprised, or it is said to give her great health, and it does. Every time she picks up the hammer, she turns into Mighty Thor. By the way, guys, she has bulked up for this role. She is beautiful, sexy, downright gorgeous. Wow, she really did a number on herself to like really get up into this character, and I love her. And you could definitely see the makeup when she's Mighty Thor. However, every time she uses the hammer, her cancer state, her body weakens because the energy that it's used to fight the cancer has been like decreased a little bit. So every time she picks it up, she gets more closer to basically death due to the stage 4 cancer. Now, I thought that was pretty cool because the movie shows us throughout the selection of these scenes progressing towards the movie that every time she picks him up, we meet her like a little bit broken. Even Thor gets to see her broken. It's like, damn, like a little bit heartwarming and heartbreaking to see that because they do a good job of showing her, like, she's beautiful in her Mighty Thor, but then when she's back in her human form, she doesn't have makeup. Like, they did a good job in the aesthetic department to show us how weak she was without Mighty Thor. And to be honest with you guys, this was more my favorite part of the movie because it's throughout this movie. Remember, they're trying to get their kids back from Gore the God Butcher. Throughout the whole movie, Jane Foster and Thor have great dynamic relationships between each other. Like, the dynamic is great. Like, they don't miss a beat from like The Dark World, which is the second movie, and I love that. I love romance. You guys know me, trying to be a relationship therapist, did not want to do that because I wanted to do YouTube. So anything romance, and I love it because throughout the rest of the movie, like, oh, like, do you have a girlfriend? Like, what have you been doing up to now? It seems like they have feelings with each other. This on and off, on again, push and pull, tense relationship, which is great because they always had chemistry, I believe. But now that she's Mighty Thor, I feel like their chemistry is now heightened because both of them can kind of do the same things, but they can also help each other out. Not just Jane being and like not in the battlefield or at her desk, but I love it because it's throughout the rest of this film that they're both like teasing, touching, like, and it shows us, the movie does a great job of showing us like what happened, and it gives us amazing backstory of what happened. They were together, they fell in love, and way more detail than I wanted because I thought, oh, we're probably just gonna get an explanation. We got explanation, we got pictures, and we got scenes. So the movie did not just tell, it actually showed. So I'm really happy about that. Hi, sorry, just from the future, I re-recorded some scenes because my camera, some lighting was flickering. So you're gonna see this scene a little bit in the movie review. So just to let you know, my heartwarming scene and my favorite scene that I just feel like I want to scream, I want to cry, was when Korg was narrating to us about their relationship. Remember in Ragnarok when they broke up? The literally movie showed us scenes of them going on dates, falling in love, spending enough time together. Like, they literally showed us a lot of time, more a little bit than like Thor: The Dark World and the first Thor movie. Like, it was really awesome to see. Overall, my favorite part because we see them going to each other's houses, getting dinner, walking in the park, going on dates, like falling in love, talking, laughing, going to parties. Like, oh my gosh, that just filled the relationship gap from the other movies because I didn't even know if they went on dates. And it's just, oh my gosh, I freaking loved it when they did that. And then it shows us the ultimate downfall. Like, they got into fights like a normal couple does. And like, Thor had too many busy meetings with the Avengers because Nick Fury kept on calling him. And then Jane had the book that she was writing, and then they just couldn't have enough time. And then throughout the rest of the film, it's like, oh, she obviously knows too because she's like, who's keeping track? So it's of course to me that throughout the movie, especially when they both reunited, what happened, because that is what we were missing. Like, did they go on dates? And the movie gave us more than what I wanted to, which I'm so thankful. And it shows to both of them, they still like have feelings for each other. They're still bickering back and forth. She asked him, he has a girlfriend, and they just, the way they act, so beautiful, so beautiful. And another scene that I want to talk about is when they go for Zeus's for help. You know that scene that Thor's like, you flake too hard, damn it. They actually start attacking Zeus because he doesn't want to help them, but they steal his thunderbolt. And that scene was incredible to see it in IMAX 3D because when you see it in IMAX 3D, you have a bigger screen, but you also have the 3D glasses accompanied with the larger sound and louder sound. So I thought that was the best physical spectacle because I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And you can even see other people in my theaters like, lo. So they got the group together, they go to Zeus for help, he denies them, they have a great battle, and then they get to Gore the God Butcher. Now, Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, I didn't know how to think about this. I heard that he was said that, this is just rumors, saying that he was like, oh, I don't want to be back in a superhero movie, and then now he's back in a superhero movie, but he's actually the villain, and a lot of people do like him as the villain, and I do like where he's coming from, but I guess maybe it was just a little bit hype. That's just my concern. I just thought that it was a little bit hype, and like, as a villain, I mean, he does a good job, but I felt like the best scene that they had was the black and white scene when they go to fight him for the first time, because they fight him numerous times, I think three times. First, in the new Asgard before they steal the kids. Second, when they reach him black and white, where the colors go away, but the only colors that show is the lightning, the thunder rod, and Mighty Thor's Mjolnir. And I thought that was a cool battle sequence because it just turned the whole screen black and white, except for like lights that we just showed. I thought that was a cool scene overall. It's just to showcase the new mentality of this Thor movie. Remember, throughout this whole movie, the cancer, the fighting Gore the God Butcher, their dynamic between the group, even with the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's dialed up to 11. So when I said if you like Ragnarok, you'll like this, but to me, sometimes I feel like this movie gets a little bit too much silly, goofy, and comedy. Don't get me wrong, I like it because I did like Ragnarok, but I feel like it's trying too much or just trying too hard, because even some scenes when they're recapping Thor's a story for the other films that happened, like when Loki died, his parents died, like they're trying to make a positive spin on it, like fun music in the background, but to me, when they did that, it was kind of heartbreaking. Like, especially in Infinity War, I remember sitting in the theater in AMC Niles 12, like literally years ago when Loki died. I was like, damn, and they're trying to play it off for laughs, and like, I get it, a lot of people are gonna like that, but to me, I just felt like it went a little bit too silly, a little bit too comedy. Like, it was like that throughout the rest of the film. Like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, there's some parts with the cancer scene like that's downright like hurtful, but I feel like 90% of the movie is all goofy, silly, comedy, which I felt like Thor Ragnarok started that, but now it picked up and ran with it. So it really depends on your taste. I still like the story because of the dynamic with the relationships, and the battles were cool, especially the black and white scene with Gore the God Butcher, and like the final scene, final fight is cool, but I just, like I said, it just plays out for laughs and it's silly, and I feel like this movie's really gonna resonate how much you're gonna be able to accept that comedy, accept that silliness, goofiness, comedy that they're trying to portray back in Ragnarok, but just dialed up to 11. So it really depends on your taste. To me, I was able to accept it, but I was gonna go see it again twice, but then after the first time, time, I canceled my reservation. I'm like, no, I don't need to go see this again because I just already got what I needed, like the relationship. And towards the end, so we get towards the end, of course, Jane dies because the cancer takes over. So she goes to Valhalla with Heimdall. She sees him, and I don't know. I thought in the comics that once she uses the Mjolnir, the last one actually transformed her into normal, like it cured the cancer, but I guess not, because in the end of the credits it says Thor will return, but it doesn't say which Thor, but it just says Thor, so I think it's just Chris Hemsworth. But the fact that the last credit scene is Jane Foster, Natalie Portman with Heimdall at Valhalla, and the same actor as well, it's like, okay, hopefully she does come back, because in the comics she does come back. So towards the end, when Gore the God Butcher gets killed, Gore was like, oh, Thor's like, I choose love over time, and then obviously Jane dies, but then now towards the end of the movie, he lives with the Gore the God Butcher's daughter, and it just shows that they have some time together, and I don't know how I feel about that. I was like, this feels so off. Like, I just couldn't accept it. I mean, I guess I didn't like it. I'm sorry, I just didn't like it. Like, now he's taking care of the enemy's daughter because of love. It almost felt like an emotional ending, but they still had a great battle, but it just felt weird. I don't know how you guys think about that, but I just feel off. Feels doesn't right to me. And the way they played it out for laughs, like towards the end, like now multiple people are worthy because they can hold Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. It just, I don't know, it feels weird. There's a lot of incoherencies and plot holes, like, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is probably the shortest spoiler review that we did, but you have to go see it for yourself, because I did want to talk about it, but not give you everything. I mean, it is a fun, thrilling ride comedy of a film, but just like I said, this ultimately comes down to you if you can accept the movie being too silly. But like I said, I sometimes feel like it's just trying too hard. Like, it could have just did a little bit less and it could have been perfect, but I don't know, with the runtime I have 2 hours, I felt like there was still a little bit more. I just felt like it tried a little bit too hard, and I'm sorry to be honest like that, because it's MCU, we're supposed to be the best, like, yeah, but I just didn't even get a second ticket because I wanted to do a comprehensive, better review, but it just didn't win me over. I'm gonna give Thor Love and Thunder a B-. As always, guys, I appreciate you so much. If you made it this far, please hit that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that, take care.